everybody, this is Julie Gross and I am here to talk to you about EDPuzzle. EDPuzzle is a really neat website which also happens to be free, which is awesome, and it allows teachers to share videos with their students. Teachers can use videos that are already included on the EDPuzzle website, or they can choose their own. You could make your own and share them with your students, and it has an editing tool which allows you to edit out the parts of the video that you don't want to share. You can ask your students questions along the way, and you can also share audio. So we'll get into that in a little bit. First of all, if you wanted to check out EDPuzzle, the first thing you'd want to do is to go to www.edpuzzle.com, which you'll see in my browser up there. And this will take you to two options. We have a teacher option here and a student option. So we'll look at the student one just really quickly. It looks very similar to the teacher login, but if your students wanted to sign up for an account, they could use their Google email address, they could use Edmodo, or they could fill in the information here. And once they click sign up, it will take them to a place where they need to assign a username and password. So now I'll sign in as a teacher, and this will take me to a short tutorial, which we're going to skip. We'll cover most of that information in the video here. And I'm going to use my Google account to log in to EDPuzzle. Alright, so this is what the EDPuzzle homepage looks like. You'll see over here on the left-hand side, I have some classes already assigned. As an elementary teacher, I chose subjects specifically. If you taught older grades, you could probably assign them by period. You could just have one for your grade level if you teach multiple subjects, or you could really customize it however you would like. To add a class, you just click Add Class here. You add the name of the class, so I can say third level. There we go. Now we can invite students to join the class. To do that, students have a couple different options. You could give them the code that is listed right here, or you could just give them the link right to your website. You could share it through Google Classroom by clicking here. You could actually tweet it to your students if you wanted to, or you can email them. I kind of like the email option personally. It just gives them the link right there, and I think that'd be kind of an easy way to just tie parents into the process as well if you would want to assign videos for homework. There's also a button here where that you could import your class right from Google Classroom, which is nice. Alright, so I already have a few videos in third grade history here. You'll see I have two assigned, studying the American Revolution, the Constitution, and all that early U.S. history stuff. Here we have a due date. You'll see that one is in red, one is in black. Red means that this is already overdue, which is a problem because over here it shows that 0% of my students have completed the assignment. Here is our Constitution video, which hasn't been assigned yet, and I watched this one earlier as a student. So you can see that 100% of my class, which is one person, has completed the video. So here's my members. I just set up a test account for now. You would see the student's name here, their username there. You can edit from here. You can add students or remove them as you need to. You can remove an entire class. Maybe at the end of the school year you would want to do that. So back to my videos. Go to my assignments actually. Okay, so here I have already watched this video. So I'm going to take a look at a progress report. You'll see here I did not watch it as a teacher. I did watch it as a student. You would have a listing here of all of your students with a green check mark if they'd watched it and X if they hadn't. This shows that in my video I included some questions and I answered 100% of them correctly. 12 minutes ago is when I looked at it and my assignment was turned in on time. Now you can also click right on the student's name and it will take you to a progress report. So you can see how they did on each and every question. So 100% is quite good. It's one thing I really like about EDPuzzle is that when students log in and they watch the video to answer questions, it tells them automatically if they have the answers right or wrong. If it's a question like quiz number 2 and number 3 here. If it's a choice, it will tell them right away. So they get automatic feedback. So that is an example of what a progress report would look like. You can also export the report, which I think is kind of handy. So we'll open it here. And it tells you, you could print this out at the beginning of class, maybe you wanted a quick glance at who had watched your video, if you assigned it for homework or not. It will show you by student, it'll list all their names, list the percentage they got correct, the number of questions they got correct, their grade, when they watched it, and all that awesome stuff. So it's really a good, quick assessment tool. It doesn't look like it would take a lot of time to get the information that you would want about your students. All right, so you can also archive assignments, and they would drop down here. Perhaps you want to save the assignment for later, you could do that. One thing too, which is good to know, you can change the due date. Perhaps a lesson took you a little bit longer than you thought it would, so it's really easy to go back in here, quickly change the due date. We don't want it to be due on Saturday because we don't have school on Saturday. And there we go. We quickly updated the due date. Okay, so now let's go to my content. This gives you an overview of all of the videos that are in your course right now. So this is actually a couple different courses. This is my history section and also my math section. You can go to the My Content page to assign stuff. If you wanted to save stuff and then assign it later, you could do that. You would just click on the video, click Assign, Share, and that will allow you to choose your class. This is a really neat feature too. You have superpowers as a teacher. Of course you do. And you can click this right here to prevent skipping. So this option forces your students to watch the whole video from beginning to end. It holds them accountable, which I love. So there we go. We could also set the due date. And then once I have everything selected the way I would like to, I can send it directly to my students. So go ahead and click send. All right. There we go. Now let's search. Okay. This is an awesome feature in itself too. There are all kinds of learning videos already on EDPuzzle. You could use your own. You could make your own YouTube video or another video a different way and download it to the website and you could use it. But sometimes as teachers we're busy and it's nice to just have a set of materials, a set of videos already ready for us. So here we have all of the videos under EDPuzzle, and I could scroll down for quite some time. As you can see, there are videos on all kinds of topics. EDPuzzle is perfect for pretty much any grade level, and I think it also provides teachers with an opportunity to differentiate. Maybe you have different students in your classroom at different levels. We all do. We've all been there. And it could provide reinforcement for students that maybe need a little extra practice, but would it also give you an opportunity to personalize instruction if you have students in your class who need a little extra challenge? Give them an opportunity perhaps to work ahead. So here are the videos that are available under EDPuzzle. My school, perhaps your school or district uses this and you could share videos here. I'm registered under Dordt College. So I believe that this one over here is mine. As you can tell, we have one more person under Dordt College in the EDPuzzle world. YouTube videos, Khan Academy. EDPuzzle would allow you to do a flipped classroom pretty easily if you wanted to assign videos for students to watch at home and then come back to class to do an assignment on them. You could have them watch it for homework and discuss it further in class. But I think you could easily assign the videos in class as well and have students do it there. So you can tailor it really to fit your needs. So all of these here are different areas where we have videos available to us already. So let's say I want to teach my students a little bit more about George Washington. All right. So I can click on the search button here And EDPuzzle does not have a lot of videos for that, as you can see. But YouTube never fails. There is so much stuff on YouTube. Alright, so if I find a video that I want to use, I can just click Use It here. And that will take me to one of my other favorite parts of EDPuzzle, which is where you can edit videos. So this first option here would allow you to cut down the video. Say you only want your students to watch a certain part. You would just drag these right here, play it, and you can cut off the beginning or the end of your video. That's really a good option, especially for those longer videos. Here, under audio track, this allows you to use the video for the visual, but you can talk over top of it and do the teaching yourself and explain it to your students. And there are all these how-to videos over here too, which is a nice little bonus. Perhaps you want to use the video as it is, but you want to pause during the instruction. So you could watch part of the video and then pause it and then record yourself. We're not going to do that now, but you could record yourself explaining it a little bit further to help it make sense and tailor it to your students specifically. So you could do that a few times throughout this video. You do need to watch the whole video in order to save it the way that you want it, but I think that's a nice way to personalize it. And I think this is one of my favorite things, is the quiz questions. I showed you that a little bit earlier in the video, and the progress report that I showed you, there were 4 questions. I paused throughout the videos, I watched it, and created those questions. So here, you can add an open text question, an open-ended question. So here we go. Who was George Washington? Broad question. You can save it and then continue. Then you could watch a little bit more of the video, pause it again. Okay, click on the question, and then here, if you click on this tab, you could use this feature a couple different ways. It's set up to do multiple choice questions. So as you can see, you can add answers. You would check the green arrow for the correct choice as you fill this in. You could do more than one correct choice. You could also turn this into a true-false question if you just wanted to do a couple of different areas. A couple different answers. Okay. And then lastly, you could just have students give you a comment, something they learned, and you could save that there. Okay, then you could go back in and you can click on their progress. So we're going to save. And you could go back to the progress report to see how they did with that. So let's finish that. And I am going to assign it to 3rd grade history, prevents skipping. And we'll just choose due date of next week. One thing I don't always like about this, going through it, is that it does Monday through Sunday rather than Sunday through Saturday. So you have to be a little bit careful when you do that. Alright, so we assigned a date, send, and as you can see now it shows up here. None of my students have watched it. There's my progress report showing that my student has not watched it yet. And our question shows up. Another really neat thing, when you assign questions, they'll show up in this space. So they'll show up right next to each other, and you can at a quick glance see who in your class understood the material and who didn't. So that gives you the opportunity to see what concepts you might need to review. So, all right, this was already much longer than 5 minutes. There are other features that I could probably show you, but that gives you a good overview of EDPuzzle.